Welcome back. Welcome to another episode of Nain Shorts with my very good friend Eric.
Where were you last week, asshole?
You know, I was about to say something before you had to speak up, you obnoxious. Anyways, you don't want to know who that is, but we don't like him. But he does a lot of the technical work, so we put up with him. And to answer his very rude question to where I was last week, I was a little under the weather. So unfortunately, I could not show up. I was kind of out all day. But it wasn't anything serious, thank God. And for anyone who is battling something serious, may you recover very, very quickly, please. And we'll definitely pray for you. But in reference to training, you still got to train. I mean, there's no really downtime for that. And I don't know about you, Eric, but for me, the idea of training is it has to be constant. Like, yeah, you can learn some shit, you can get some, like, to a certain level, but if you don't, keep up with it, to stick around, right? Will you be as good as you were when you reached your, black belt, 5-10 years later, if you're not actually practicing or advancing? Because, are you ranked? You're ranked or something, no? You've trained a lot of things.
I've dabbled. I never got far in anything.
Okay.
Do I have some ranks? Yeah, but are they... No disrespect to my training, my teachers, and my other classmates.
Uh-huh.
I don't have ranking that is necessarily worth bringing up.
Okay. I'm just asking because, this thing that we do is always about, like, going a little further than what we originally had, what we originally got from our training. And today, that's really what I wanted to talk about is, what are you looking at after you get good at whatever it is, at the curriculum, at the things that you learn, at your techniques that, you're supposed to learn at certain levels, we're supposed to have at a certain level. How do you go beyond that? Or what do you now focus on when you do get there, when you do know your stuff? How do you translate that to being able to use it in, like, a real life situation or a real attack? Any ideas on that? Because I know we played with something similar today in reference to that idea.
I'm not sure if I'm in the same discussion. The way my brain is going. Sorry, but the way I'm thinking is, you're always continuing to add to it and learn. I don't know when you get it, when you have your stuff down.
Oh, that's a good point to make.
At least the level I'm at, that's what I'm thinking.
No,
that's
I get it.
more of a conceptual thing.
Yeah.
To have it gotten so that I can then use
Well,
it.
I think we can argue that, it could be a personal thing. Some people do believe that they reach a certain rank and all of a sudden they're the one, right? They know their shit and they have that confidence, and then they get into a fight and their confidence dwindles really, really fast because whatever they do didn't quite work. Or in your case, you're constantly on the other side of it where you're like, I don't know if this is good enough to actually help me in a real situation, so I'm gonna keep working on it because, I might not have gotten that one piece that would actually help me out in real life. And then you have people who do this for a sport and train and actually make contact and pressure test the stuff and simplify things because they don't need all this other stuff. They just need to be able to strike fast and hard and throw combinations and they win, right? Or they just happen to be more aggressive at, or whatever the case may be, because when it comes to real life fighting, you just don't know. You don't know what the other person knows. You don't know how fast they are, how strong. You don't know what they know or don't know. You have no clue whatsoever. So I think it's genius, like you said, to constantly have that air of, I still need to keep practicing. I need to keep growing. I need to keep adding to it. Like, there is no plateau, there is no making it, there is no I'm there. It's I have to keep on working on it because you never know, right? But when it comes to learning the basics, because we all need to learn the basics, you have the basics down. Now what do you do with it? Right? Basic strikes, basic punches, we all know them to a certain extent. Are they perfect? No. But can they be useful?
Yeah, how can they be more useful? How can they be applied in a situation that
Exactly.
is meaningful? Yeah.
So for this particular discussion, the very first thing is, what are you even looking for? Right? Scenario-wise, the fight's already started. Somebody's aggressively coming at you, whether you see it coming or not. I mean, it changes how you react because you get clocked. That's a different reaction than if you see somebody actually trying to attack you. But in reference to the actual attacker, what are you really looking for? And if we could stand up, and no sticks this time, just somebody standing here, mouthing off, and all of a sudden, right? See? That reaction itself, right? You get caught up in it, and all of a sudden you do something, and it may work, it may not.
No, that one didn't.
Well, but here's the reality of it, right? Somebody who actually is throwing at you, and you go, not there, because now I actually went forward. The first time, I literally just did this. So of course you're gonna miss. Why? Because
I was anticipating continuing.
Exactly. So now, let's say that's the first piece that we really have to consider. Is somebody actually going to swing completely, or are they just going to go do this, just to try to get you to react or something like that? Or even still, what if your reaction is now focused less on moving this out of the way and more on moving forward? Because we train to be close quarter fighters, which means here. So now let's put those two together. I throw this. Yeah. Whether that was coming out or not, look at where you put yourself in reference to that idea. And look what you got out of it. So we could argue based on this scenario that the very first thing you really should then get through your mind is that waiting for that person to finish their thought might not be our best choice or course of action.
Yeah.
Like it's too late at that point. The moment you see somebody go, exactly, you should already be moving forward, because this is where my power shot is. This is where 100% of my strength
Yeah, I
is.
find myself in that responsive mode too much. Almost like I'm practicing in class. Feed me and now do something to that, as opposed to, can we swear?
Yeah, go ahead.
Shit is going down. I need to take care of it, which is a different mindset.
Right, and that's the part that I feel we need to emphasize in any of our training, to say, yeah, all this stuff works great, especially when I'm going to throw a straight right punch, and you can do all your things like that. No one's ever going to tell you that. And again, sometimes, hey, look at that guy right there, and then they swing. See? But now you have that in your head, so your reaction isn't going to be, oh, I'm just going to respond to that. No, you're actually moved forward because you're working on your space. Because the one thing that we consider when we're learning a technique is, where are we even doing it? Where is this happening in reference to this space? And what am I doing afterwards? Am I just parrying and then jabbing, or am I throwing a combination afterwards? You know, depending on what your system is or what ultimately you're going to use it for, whether it's sports or protection, you have to consider where you are in reference to the whole thing. So first of all, what is the person actually doing? Are they showing some sort of aggression? Are they, just trying to inch close to you because they're trying to steal something from your pocket? Whatever the case may be, you first have to understand, hey, are they even close enough to do something? So there's one, right? Then the next part is, are you close enough to do something? Because now it's in reference to what you're capable of. And if you're constantly backing up, well, are you a kicker and you want that space? That should be something that you're doing. If you're not, well, then maybe you should be closing the space in order to take advantage of that. Because again, my power's here, you either want to be far away from it or within it, so you don't get or as likely to get hurt. So for me, those become then the crucial parts of any sort of martial art training or any sort of self-defense training. Can you commit to the idea that you need to move forward or completely away from the situation? If you can walk away, great. But once you're there, balls to the wall. Go all the way in and commit to what it is that you're trying to accomplish, which isn't as easy as a lot of us think it is. Now, we've been hit before, you've been hit before, we've trained for many years, so it's easy for us to say, but take a new person, somebody who is just learning the movements, and then they get really good at the movements, but they never understood the idea of, hey, if somebody's trying to harm you, you need to commit. So where does that happen? When does that happen? When in our training do we then expose the students to something to say, okay, this is how you would react if somebody just startled the shit out of you? And I think it's important to understand, just like you did in the first experience or in the first little demonstration, was, oh, that wasn't necessarily the best thing for me to do. Like, that could have ended really bad for me because I just reacted. We all react since we're kids. Ugh. But we were never taught the idea of it becoming more later on until we started training. But until that connection is made, either by yourself, through experience, or through instruction, does it ever come out? Do we ever make that distinction? And everything that we did learn, all the ranking, all the years that we spent, what do they become when our reaction is, oh, shit, and it doesn't amount to anything? Nothing that we recognize, nothing that we've trained for, and it's just shit. Right? So, what did you take away from that?
I think a lot of what I was thinking about when you're saying, what does it come to, what does it amount to, was really, well, we're training, you said, for whatever, to do the techniques. Non-mumbling here, but the idea is, what is the mentality behind the training? What am I really training for? Is it to get this move? Is it because I want to rank up? Is it again, sport? Is it whatever? But the shift in mentality dictates what you're training for, what you're going to see, and what you help make that become. Whether you're thinking more, okay, I'm doing this move because I'm working on the coordination.
Right.
I think everyone does that at a point. Then it becomes, wait a second, I've got this down. What's really happening here? Oh, that punch is really coming to my face. It's not just coming out to feed me. That's when things start to switch. It's a mentality, again, that really makes the difference.
No, you're absolutely right. And that, I mean, you said it way better than I ever could. It really does boil down to what it is you're trying to accomplish with what it is you're training. You know, is it for self-defense? And if it is for self-defense, are we talking and thinking about, okay, that's a real punch. That's not somebody feeding me. That's not one of my friends, one of my classmates. That's somebody really trying to harm me. And have I experienced enough of that to connect that feeling, that rush, with my training? You know, we talk about pressure testing and all these things like that, which is awesome. You know, you go fast, you go hard, you push, but it's still fun. There's still some sense of control because it's somebody you know. But how do we then start simulating that rush?
I think that's key in training. But I think we've also learned within our group that going slow can also give you that awareness and that mentality to see things and then respond mindfully about whatever goal it is.
Right.
If you're thinking about this is a real attack, you don't have to have them swinging at you with a stick or a padded stick, what have you. You just have to think in your head, okay, if that person could be a different rank, they could be working on something else, but you're visualizing that coming at you and thinking, look, what do I see? What do I do? How would this work for me?
Right. You accept. If that was at full speed, if that was with intent, it would have hurt me. Or, hey, even though this is coming slow, I'm going to take it serious enough to do something significant with it and not just go through the motions. And it really is just about mentality. So, folks, if we take away...
I was just going to say, though, back to your point about the pressure testing, though, that's crucial, too, because we were doing some pressure testing this last weekend with our class. And there's a lot to be said for being able to stay centered, deal with any cortisol, what have you, that's going on, and being able to see and move and respond appropriately within that.
Right, especially multiple attackers. That's what we did. We did the whole, you're in the center and we're all just going to attack you randomly.
So everything has its place.
Right.
But you don't have to be limited to just a pressure test to gain that insight and that knowledge and that growth.
No, you're absolutely right. It really just boils down to what is it that what's going on in your head. You know, because at that time, you're not going to know. When it really happens, you're just going to do whatever it is you trained. And if you train physical stuff, but none of the mental stuff, well, your mind craps out on you. Is your physical stuff going to come out? or you're just going to be deer in the headlights, suffering from a lot of pain from somebody who just didn't want to stop beating you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot to consider in reference to the training. All, like Eric said, all training has its place. All is beneficial in some way, especially when the right mindset is applied to it. So that's the question. Are we applying the right mindset to our training? And if not, what could we be doing different? What could we be adding to enhance what it is we're trying to do for the purpose that we're training it for? Awesome. So, thank you very much for joining me on another one of Nain's Short. Thank you to Eric because he had a lot to say today, which is really awesome. Seeing his growth in the past, it's only been 2 years, but Jesus Christ, you've advanced. Yeah, I know you don't see it because you're humble and you're nice, and actually what you said earlier really opened my eyes to why you may not see it as well as Rick and I do in your progress, because in your head, you're always wanting to improve. So the moment you start thinking, yeah, I'm doing better, you feel maybe that you might stop improving. And I love that mentality because that works for you, but that's you. That's how you are able to then continue to advance, because you have been advancing fairly quickly in the last 2 years, and I couldn't be prouder to be one of your fellow classmates in this. And to see you just get better, it's exciting because now I know we can fight that much more intricately, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, thank you.
Oh, hey.
Hey guys, for all of you martial artists out there, we have a good friend by the name of Alvin Albano. Can you look up Alex Mack on your phone?
I don't have it with me right now because it's in the kitchen.
Somebody grab a phone. Grab his phone. Our good friend has come down with cancer, and he's been in the hospital since, from what I understand, since the 22nd of this month. I found out he has cancer. It's reached his spine, and there's a GoFundMe for him. So we would like to acknowledge and let everybody reach out and look for that that notice. It's from Master Alex Mack. He's another good friend of ours. I had just read it today, and I want to make sure that if you can, please donate to this gentleman, wonderful martial artist, good friend of ours. I've known him since I was back in college. That's when I first met him. So very good guy. Very well known in the martial world. I think you are familiar with him.
Yeah, I took a seminar with him in Derobio.
Yeah, in Derobio. So wonderful guy, and we're really praying for you. You're going to come out of this. I know you're a fighter, a really good fighter. But if you guys look it up, I'm sure in the martial world they're passing it around. Please help the family out. There's one of those costs that just pops up. Nobody's ever prepared for these things.
Yeah, no, it's one of those tough situations. There is a GoFundMe that you can donate to. Yeah.
Okay, good. You want to read it off, and let's just.
All right. So, it says, born and raised in San Francisco, Alvin is a dedicated family man. Married almost 21 years to Farah, and father to 2 beautiful children, Joshua and Chibeli. Sorry if I said that wrong. I do apologize. Alvin has been a martial arts teacher in Hapkido and Eskrima for close to 30 years.
Yeah.
So minor aches and pains are part of the profession, but over the last few months, his back pain has increased to the point of being unable to walk without assistance. A difficult prospect for one so strong and active. This prompted various scans, leading to a biopsy. After an ER visit, he has been in Kaiser, South San Francisco since Monday, July 22nd, where he underwent many tests that eventually confirmed a diagnosis of lung cancer that has spread to his spine. After back surgery was considered, it was decided that immediate radiation followed by initiating chemo was the best immediate course of action. He's in pain but staying positive and in good spirits. His faith is deepening, and his support circles are circling the wagons to provide him the strength he needs to fight, help Alvin and his family with unexpected expenses associated with his illness, and help give them the peace of mind they need to surmount the many challenges they will face, conquer together. So there is a GoFundMe.
We're going to put this link on this channel.
Yes, we will put it down there.
Hopefully you guys will all click on it help out where you can, even just to maybe share it. That'll be a good step. You know, if you can't give anything, share it. Let everybody know. You know, he's a good guy. Like I said, I've known him since I was back in college, and that was like 30 some odd years ago. So.
Yeah, he really is like one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Very unassuming. Always had a smile every time we saw him. So
every time.
To hear that he's going through this is just words cannot express. So if you can find it, GoFundMe, Alvin Albino. So Albano is Albano, first name Alvin. And you'll be able to find it. If you go on Facebook, search his name, you will find it on his page, as well as Alex Mack's page, another friend of ours. So anything you can, folks, even if just passing it around, putting it on your page, sending it to your friends, any little bit helps. Can't imagine what the family's going through right now.
So sorry for interrupting your show.
No, it's quite all right. do appreciate it. So definitely anything you can do, please, reaching out to you guys, anyone out there who have gone through something similar know the difficulties behind it, and the family is the one impacted the most. No matter how good of a spirit the individual is, it's difficult. But thank you for your time. Thank you for your help and your donations, spreading the word. And we'll see you on the next one. So till then, 3, 2, 1, somber cut.